Hello, my name is Luke Flemming and I'm here today to do a quick tech talk, and the title of my talk is Automate Yourself Out of a Job. I know that sounds really scary, but it's actually not, and I'll tell you about that in just a second. A little bit of context, I work for VMware. I'm a senior consultant in the PSO area, so I do a lot of the delivery of VMware solutions. Prior to that, I was a system administrator, and a lot of my talk today is going to be about embracing automation from a system administrator's point of view. So as a system administrator, there's often pushback whenever the subject of automation is raised. There tends to be a line of thinking about, that's the way we've always done it, or if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's also the sense that automation scares me, so I'm going to continue to just do things the way that I know how, that I'm comfortable doing them. You need to embrace automation, and there is a common fear amongst system administrators whenever automation is discussed. There is a real fear that people are going to lose their jobs as a result of automation, especially in IT. But that doesn't have to be the case. Automation should be embraced as an evolution of being a systems administrator. Now, what I mean by that is all those boring, repetitive tasks that you do manually today, they can all be automated. There's a range of VMware software that can facilitate the automation, both on-prem and in the cloud. I'm going to talk to you about a couple of experiences I've had in my time in VMware with customers and helping them embrace the automation journey. And as a system administrator, you can take these same things away to make your lives a little bit easier. So I'll give you an example from one of my recent customers, where just the very manual, very boring task of deploying a new VM. Now, in this organization, the process of deploying a new VM, it had to go through multiple BAU teams, multiple levels of approval, timeframes, delays, so on and so forth. The entire end-to-end process was roughly anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks to get all of those manual processes completed to get a fully delivered VM. Now, coming in as a senior consultant, we were able to take that 4 to 6 week time frame and narrow it down to roughly around 20 minutes. Now that's a full end-to-end deployment of a VM into the environment ready for a customer to use. That includes things like deploying the VM from a template, assigning a host name, allocating an IP address from IPAM, installing a range of software components, and then finally reporting back to the user that that VM was ready to be used. Automation can also help in your day-to-day job in the way of health checking. Now, a VMware colleague, Al Renouf, has a very, very handy Power CLI package called the vCheck, the Daily Health Report. This is a wonderful piece of automation and piece of code that can be run in your customer site to generate daily reports on the health of your environment. No longer do you have to come in and first thing when you get to your desk in the morning is manually check the health status of your VMware environment. You can set up a scheduled task which will run these bunch of Power CLI scripts, which is essentially PowerShell, Power CLI scripts to generate the health report for you. You can schedule it to run at 7 o'clock in the morning. By the time you come in, you sit down with your cup of coffee, you can read through that report and get the general status of your environment while you're drinking a coffee. Now again, that report can then also be emailed out to management or executives or the entire VMware team so that there is a consistent message being sent across. If you're a customer of VMware Cloud on AWS, automation really helps you in the system administrator space from the infrastructure perspective. So as a system administrator, you're no longer responsible for the management of the infrastructure. Now, if you have a failed host in a self-managed environment, it can be quite a lengthy process to either be able to take that node offline and to troubleshoot it. That may involve things like raising change requests, going through various teams to get approvals, waiting for hardware vendor engagement to be able to resolve those issues. Now, VMware Cloud on AWS has a really awesome host automation process whereby, again, when VMware identifies that your host is in a degraded state, it will automatically provision a new ESX host, add it into your cluster, migrate your workloads, rebuild the vSAN, and then take out the failed host, all without you lifting a finger, and quite possibly without you even knowing. This is the power of automation. vRealize Orchestrator is a very powerful orchestration tool that, with plugins, REST APIs, and other integration with many other components of your IT environment. For example, you could use the AD plugins to basically automate all of your boring, monotonous Active Directory tasks. For example, onboarding a user. It's something that is generally a time-consuming process, and by setting up some automation, not only are you simplifying the process, you're also creating a standardized method for onboarding new users. Now, what that actually achieves is you get consistency across your onboarding process. You may have different system administrators that they will perform the same task in many different ways. And that can lead to having some configuration drift, or if someone accidentally misses a step, because mistakes can happen. If somebody misses a step, then you will find that you have configuration drift. By using automation, you are eliminating that, because the process, the workflow that runs is the same every single time. It gets the same inputs and it generates the same outputs. You're just achieving that consistency. And again, as a system administrator, it makes your day-to-day life very easy. So my title of my presentation, Automate Yourself Out of a Job, as you can see, it's actually not as scary as it sounds. What it actually should have said is automate yourself out of a job and into a better job, because getting into automation, it frees you up from doing the humdrum, the monotonous manual activities, and it frees you up to perform more tasks to help your end user. It may also give you the freedom to increase the capability of your environment. It may also give you the chance to automate more things, automate all of the things. Thank you for listening to my presentation.